Well, the Raptors suck, guys. If you guys haven't noticed, the Raptors are not very good at basketball right now. The Raptors lose their 8th straight game. That just sounds insane to even say that. 8th straight game to the Cleveland Cavaliers. No excuses for this one. Literally no excuses at all. Coming into this one, obviously coming off the loss to the Jazz, a questionable refereed game. Obviously, the Jazz had like 41 free throws. Raptors, I believe, deserved to win that game. The Raptors did not deserve to win this game. Not at all. Coming into this game, honestly, the first quarter was actually looking pretty promising. The Raptors win that first quarter 28-23. And the defense looked pretty good. Turning the Cavs over, the Raptors forced a lot of turnovers in this game. I got to actually look at the numbers here, but I believe at one moment it was like 25 turnovers. The Cavs finished with 27 turnovers. And the Raptors had 26 points off those 27 turnovers. So they did a good job turning the Cavs over, and that's something that they've done actually pretty well throughout this whole losing streak, which is kind of surprising, is turning the other team over. But their defense just wasn't good enough. Once again, giving up 116 points. At halftime, the Cavs were shooting 51% from the field, 50% from three, and they had 17 assists. Dean Wade in the first half was looking like, I was going to say Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade wasn't even a good three-point shooter, so that's a terrible comparison. Dean Wade was just looking like Klay Thompson, honestly. Dean Wade finished with 16 points, 4 for 7 from three. And that was Colin Sexton hit 6 threes. Isaac Okoro, Larry Nance both hit 2 threes. Like, the Raptors were leaving these dudes wide open the entire game. And what it really starts with is honestly not having a center on this team. Yes, we have Aaron Baines, but he really didn't do much tonight. 4 points, 9 boards, didn't play great defense. Chris Boucher struggled tonight. But the impact of not having a center is just really on the defensive end. Like, dudes are getting into the paint. There's no rim protection. They're getting into the paint so easily, and that's something to do. That's with the perimeter defense as well. It needs to be better. Like, guys are just getting blown by. There just needs to be more effort, because it didn't even look, after the first quarter, it didn't even look like this team wanted to win. Excluding the first and fourth quarters, the effort wasn't there. You got to play that level of defense and that level of energy that you did in the first and fourth quarters throughout the whole game. Like, you can't expect to play 2 good quarters and win when you're playing 2 other really bad quarters. Like, you give up 36 in the second, 32 in the third. They just don't have sustained effort. And when the Cavs or when the other team does get into the paint, there's no rim protection, so they're finishing at the rim super easily. And if they're not, they're kicking it out and they're getting wide open threes. What did they finish shooting? They finished shooting 51.5% from three. 51.5. That is atrocious. The fact that the Raptors were actually kind of in this game, it was like a 9-point game at one point. No, it was a 5-point game at one point. The fact that they were that close when the Cavs are shooting this great and the Raptors are shooting 39% from the field, 33% from three, is actually kind of amazing. The Raptors got destroyed on the boards. You look at the rebound differential. Once again, we saw this with Detroit. We saw this with Utah. This has been another huge issue, and this is another reason why the Raptors might need to trade for a guy like Tristan Thompson or Andre Drummond. Tristan Thompson is more realistic because you can't really match contracts with Andre Drummond's big contract, but 54-37 in terms of rebounds. That's insane. This team needs a good center, bro. The Cavs had 22 blocks, I believe. Is that seems insane? Is that like an NBA record? That sounds. Wait, let me see. How many blocks did this team have? Okay, no, they didn't. I swear, NBA.com is so dumb. Completely ignore that point. They did not have 22 blocks, but it seemed like they had a lot of blocks in this game. They were playing pretty good defense, and the Raptors were not at all. Even when you're turning them over 27 times, they're just shooting too high of percentages, like 51% from three. On the pick and pop, the amount of times that I was like Larry Nance was wide open, Dean Wade, like I said, Isaac Okoro, like you got to step up, bro. I don't know what happened to this team defensively. They just didn't have the fight. They haven't had the fight for a lot of these games. The Utah game, that was a different story. But, of course, the refs screwed the Raptors over. But this game, there was absolutely no fight, no will to win, it seemed like. No energy at all. Except for the first and fourth quarters. I just don't... Like, Colin Sexton comes out in the third quarter after that kind of argument, altercation, little scuffle at halftime with Norman Powell and Fred VanVleet. I don't really know what happened there. It didn't seem like that big of a deal, but Colin Sexton, he took it personally, man. He definitely took it personally. Came out in that third quarter, was on fire, knocking down threes. He finished with 36 points, super efficient. Dude was great tonight. Dude was looking like him, Colin Sexton against the Brooklyn Nets or whatever. That game, that insane game that he had. Fred VanVleet needs to be better, man. You look at this, the box score. He did finish with 23 points, 7 assists, but not efficient. Once again, this dude has been very inefficient. 8 for 24, 5 for 15 from 3, taking some ill-advised shots, I would say, taking some tough layups that usually, I mean, sometimes they go down for Fred. He has looked a little bit rusty coming off COVID, but he needs to be better, man. He needs to take better shots. He needs to realize when he doesn't have a good shot and pass it out. He seems too eager to score sometimes, and that really hurts this team because then he's just taking bad shots, and it just doesn't work out. Pascal Siakam was terrible, absolutely terrible. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, but he was 4 for 12, 4 for 12 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. Efficiency once again has tailed off. He had a good stretch. He had a good stretch in that 15-9 stretch for the Raptors. But it's kind of like the start of the season again. I feel like this is, with COVID and everybody coming back, this has set this team back to where they were at the start of the season, which just sucks to see. Like, COVID just sucks, bro. It sucks so bad. Like, the big question is this team the 2-8 stretch and the 8-game losing streak? Is that what this team is, or is this team the 15-9 team? I would like to think that it's the 15-9 team once they get in their rhythm. They're just not in a rhythm right now, and they're not playing good enough defense to win games. Norman Powell was pretty inefficient. I'll give him a pass, though, because he has been carrying the offense the past, 8 games, pretty much. OG had a pretty decent game, came up with a couple clutch steals, as well as Patrick McCaw. If Patrick McCaw didn't check in this game, it probably would have been a 20-point loss because he brought some energy in that fourth quarter. 5 points, 2 boards, 2 steals, just playing great defense. Pat McCaw actually has some good length, and he has the ability to play good defense. We've seen in the past people memeing on Nick Nurse because he plays Pat McCaw a lot. I was happy with what I saw from Pat McCaw today. Just did what he needed to do. Didn't step outside of his role too much. But yeah, Fred VanVleet needs to be better. Kyle Lowry didn't shoot efficiently. He hasn't really had a good shooting game in a while. So hopefully we can get a game from Kyle at some point. Chris Boucher, once again, didn't give you much off the bench. 2 points, 5 boards. Malachi Flynn got some run because he did have some nice minutes against Utah, especially defending Mike Conley. I thought he did a pretty good job with that defensive assignment. But yeah, you didn't get much from the bench other than, you didn't get much at all, really. And then once again, it comes back to the defense. The defense needs to be better. Pascal only played 24 minutes because he was a minus 11 when he was on the floor. Aaron Baines was a minus 13. Aaron Baines, man. This dude sucks at basketball. I tried to give this dude a shot. He was having some better games, but this dude sucks, man. He's so bad. He's absolute garbage. He has no offensive moves at all. He has no footwork. He has no finesse. He has no post game. He's not a good rebounder. He's slow. He's not athletic. Like even you look like at a guy like Marc Gasol. Yeah, he's slow. He's not athletic. But at least he had some post moves. He was smart. He knew how to use angles to be a pretty good defensive player. Aaron Baines doesn't. He's not nearly that level of Marc Gasol. And yeah, this sucks, man. This team is a joke. Cleveland went on a 12-0 run to start the third quarter there, and that pretty much put this game to bed. Terrible defense. These guys need to stop complaining about calls, man. Just stop complaining about calls and focus on winning the game. It's easier said than done. If I was a coach or a player, I would probably be complaining as well. But there comes a time when you just need to just put your head down and play. And that's what Colin Sexton did in the third quarter. This dude, he went demon mode, man. Like his eyes, bro, he looked like he really wanted to win this. And that's what he did for the Cavs. The Raps need to stop complaining about calls. Yes, that Jazz game was an absolute disgrace. Nick Nurse got fined $50,000 for throwing his mask. Ridiculous. But at some point, you just need to shut up and just try and win the game. Just try and win it. Play some defense, get a couple stops, and you know what would really help getting a couple stops? An actual center. The small ball did not work tonight. The small ball did not work at all. And some nights it's going to work, some nights it's not going to work. And that's when you need a center. You look at the matchup, okay, they got an elite big like Joel Embiid. I mean, the Cavs don't even really have an elite big. Jared Allen, he's pretty good, but when you play a team like freaking the Sixers or the Nuggets, which the Raptors are playing soon, you're going to need like a serviceable center to start. You can't go small ball every game, man. We saw the Houston Rockets try and do that a couple years ago. It doesn't always work. When the Cavs needed a bucket in this game, they simply just put it in the post to either Larry Nance, Jared Allen, JaVale McGee. I hate JaVale McGee. Dude's an absolute clown. And they just got a bucket. And when you got Colin Sexton dropping 36, Jared Allen grabbing 15 rebounds, it's just not... I mean, Dean Wade, dropping 16 points. What is Dean Wade even averaging? That's insane. This dude is averaging 3.5 points per game. And we let him drop 16. This has been the theme throughout this whole season. Players that usually don't play very well seem to play very well against the Raptors. And the broadcasters, people on Raptors fans are always like, why does this dude always play so well when he plays against the Raptors? Do you ever think that maybe it's because of bad defense? Do you ever think that maybe if you leave an NBA player wide open, they're going to knock down some threes? If you leave Dean Wade wide open, he's going to knock down 5 threes, right? 5 threes, right? I don't know why I said it twice. 4 threes. You can't expect to leave people wide open. There's not even maybe you have to double Colin Sexton. Maybe you have to double Jared Allen when he's in the post against a Lowry or Van Vliet. But there's not a superstar threat on this team. And it wasn't even really the doubles that were leaving guys wide open from 3. It's just a lack of effort. Miscommunications, guys not rotating, on the fast break, not getting back in transition. Oh my gosh, this team sucks, bro. This team sucks. I hate watching this team right now. It's absolutely disgusting watching this team. The offense, honestly, they shoot 39% and 33% from 3. But I'm not even mad about the offense, man. I'm not even mad. I'm mad, this defense. This defense, you're letting them shoot 51.5% from 3. 51. You're letting them grab 54 rebounds. We all know rebounding the ball is the second half of defense. That's the second part. Yeah, you can play pretty good. They didn't even play good defense in the first contest or the first shot because they shot great. But even when teams do shoot poorly against the Raptors, they're still grabbing a bunch of rebounds. And they're getting more shots than the Raptors. 54 rebounds to 37. 29 assists to the Raptors' 19 assists. It's so dumb, man. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Yeah, the Raptors play another game tomorrow, so that sucks because the Raptors haven't been good on the second nights of back-to-backs this season at all. It's against the Rockets. They've been the worst team in the league the past couple months. They've lost 20 in a row. If the Raptors can't beat a team that has lost 20 games in a row, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be scared of myself. I don't know what, I'm just expecting that they're going to lose. With the effort that they put up against the Jazz, coming into this game, I said, if they play with that same effort, surely they will beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Colin Sexton decided to say, nah, dude. Nah. That's not going to happen. And I swear if John Wall or Christian Wood or Victor Oladipo or freaking, I don't know, DJ Augustine, he got traded, right? I think so. DJ Augustine, he's a known Raptors killer, so I bet he's going to go off. If one of them goes off like Colin Sexton did tonight, I don't know what to say, man. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. This team played with no effort at all. At all. It's actually ridiculous. There is no excuse. I see people posting on Instagram Raptors pages, oh, the refs handed them that last game. Yeah, they did. But the games before that, no excuse. The game against Detroit, no excuse at all. This game, no excuse at all. The game against the Hornets, no excuse. Even when you're missing 3 starters, those are games you should be winning. With championship experience and what is supposedly one of the best coaches in the league, how are you losing these games? How are you losing these games? Nick Nurse has not been good. He hasn't. He's just not been good. I feel like Nick Nurse needs to stick with a tight rotation. This dude he panics and he plays a bunch of random dudes that haven't got a lot of playing time. And when your lineup and your rotations are so fluid and there's people coming in and out, nobody can get a rhythm. Nobody can get a rhythm. And that's what's been nobody has when the Raptors had 3 starters out, nobody solidified themselves as a good energy guy, as a rotation piece off the bench. Nobody. I mean, we already knew Chris Boucher was, but nobody else. This is a longer episode. My camera just shut off, but I just feel like ranting. Yeah, dudes coming off the bench, they have to stay ready. But at some point, Nick Nurse, just keep the rotation normal. Just keep it normal, bro. Let me look at this team here, bro. Let me look at this team. Okay, we got Chris Boucher coming off the bench. Paul Watson, I feel like he should have got more time. He's actually been kind of impressive. Terrence Davis got 0 minutes. Bembry got 0 minutes. Matt Thomas, Yuta got 0 minutes. Those 4 guys have been getting more minutes than a guy like Pat McCaw, than a guy like Malachi Flynn. I don't know. I guess I just trust Bembry more than Malachi. Honestly, I do. I don't get it, man. This team something needs to change. A trade might need to be made for a guy maybe like Tristan Thompson, just some center, honestly. Andre Drummond, Tristan Thompson, anybody. Anybody but Aaron frickin' Baines. Aaron Baines. What an absolute bum. I cannot stand watching this dude play basketball. I cannot stand it. I'm not even going to roast Chris Boucher. He had an off night. He's been great, though, this entire season. Aaron Baines hasn't given us anything. Pascal gave us nothing tonight. I hope Pascal can just find a rhythm. This is so similar, like I said, to the 2-8 start. Pascal out of rhythm. Center rotation is up in the air. Don't know who's starting. Don't know who's coming off the bench. The rotation in general is just iffy. Defense is bad. losing to bad teams, teams that you should be beating. This sucks, man. This sucks. 8 losses in a row. 8. I don't want to talk about this anymore. That's going to do it. The Raptors need to win next game because at this point you're looking at a 17-25 record. The more games you lose, the harder it is to dig out of this hole. And if the Raptors want to make the playoffs, they got to start winning some games that they should be winning. And the Rockets is one of those games. The Cavs is one of those games. So yeah, that's going to do it for my thoughts on this video. Or on this game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.